Ben will have the weather for us in about 5 minutes. 2 weeks after a gunman opened fire on a beach in Tunisia, thousands of British holidaymakers are being flown home.
The government says that another attack is likely and extra flights have been scheduled this weekend. But what's behind the decision from the Foreign Office and what impact could this have on the tourism industry?
We're joined now by Dr. Evan Lawrence, a counter-terrorism and security specialist, and Joel Brandon Bravo from travel website Travelzoo. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Evan, let's just talk about what happens next. Denmark and Ireland have followed suit, issuing similar advice to their citizens about the safety or the dangers of Tunisia. The UK government has been forced to almost defend its decision, as France and Germany have said they're not going to change their travel advice. Your interpretation of this?
I think it probably is that there is a generic kind of overarching threat and nothing very specific yet. A lot of times when we have a lot of chatter coming through about a specific place, we don't get the full details of exactly what's going on.
When you say chatter, you mean?
Online communications, phone calls, emails, things like that, that our security services are very good at monitoring. Intelligence, things like that, from human intelligence on the ground there as well. And it may be a general threat as of yet, and there may be no actual date or time or place or anything like that. So then it becomes weighing out the consequences of not putting out the issue ahead of time, or saying we're going to wait till we have some credible evidence that has a specific location or something to it.
Joel, it's interesting, we were talking to a correspondent just a moment ago in Tunisia who'd been speaking to some of the people, a honeymooning couple, who were following advice and coming home slightly reluctantly, in all honesty, thinking it was the right thing to do. What do you think is going to be the next phase? What will happen next in terms of the tourist industry, Tunisia, and will it have a ripple effect in other areas?
It's already having a ripple effect. Bookings down to places like Egypt and Morocco as well, as I think the tendency is for people to switch destinations to destinations that are seen as more traditionally safe. Southern European destinations are already seeing a big uplift in demand to places, Spain, the Canary Islands, the Balearics, Greece is still seeing a good demand despite what's happening there, as well as Italy, and actually some maybe more new destinations. We've seen extra capacity in Bulgaria because Tunisia was a cheap package destination already. One of the challenges for people trying to get refunds this late into the season and book somewhere else is that prices were already more expensive. They may be booked on an early booking or a last minute discount, and actually Bulgaria still offers a cheap alternative. So we've seen some capacity growth there.
Can we talk as well about, Joel, about what people should be doing now? We've asked our viewers, has Tunisia made you think twice about your summer holiday? We've asked them if they've changed their mind and given us their travel plans. And Melissa's written to us saying that she's had a nightmare with her holiday. Planned to go to Tunisia this month. She says the travel agent's been unhelpful. The flights were cancelled last month. They failed to tell her. When she wanted to discuss it, offered an alternative holiday, which we've heard many of the travel operators are doing. But after waiting 48 hours, she still hasn't had any news of the holiday. She's very frustrated and waiting to see if they'll refund the money. What rights do potential travellers or people who had booked holidays actually have right now?
Right. You mentioned she booked with a travel agent. All of the travel agents that I've spoken to are all following a similar line. They're trying to find alternative holidays for people, as there is the issue that if the replacement holiday is more expensive, they will have to pay the difference. But they are obliged, ATOL bonded package operators are obliged to offer that alternative or a full refund. And most are offering a full refund for bookings up to the end of October. So I'm surprised to hear that she's not been offered that, but it is an incredibly busy time for them. So we have seen companies saying, bear with us, we're currently dealing with a lot of extra calls around trying to either get people back or more immediate bookings. If the booking is still a week or two out, she may just have to be a little bit patient until she can get through, but she should be offered a full refund or an alternative.
Yes, Dr. Lawrence, the British holidaymakers are quite stoic in some respects, aren't they? But the moment the advice comes in, the official advice comes in, that always changes, doesn't it? And it has to. There are lots of issues to do with regulations that come in, travel insurance, those kind of things. That changes the equation completely, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people are obviously quite reluctant to travel to an area that even has a warning, let alone this kind of extreme advice warning of essential travel only. So I think it certainly warrants consideration if you're still considering going down there, and you're certainly not going to be able to go with any of the travel companies or anything like that. There are other ways, obviously, but you certainly want to be careful with traveling in the region, as we've seen what's going on with Egypt and things like that as well this morning. That it's a very dynamic situation.
Okay, Dr. Evans, thank you. Joel Brando Bravo, thank you as well.
And thank you very much for getting in touch about your travel